The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by SIDEBAR, its guests, callers, and advisors are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS Verizon Media Group. SIDEBAR, a 103.5 The Beat podcast, is a production of ILTV Studios and may not be reproduced or represented, in part or in its entirety, without the express written consent of Verizon Media Group. SIDEBAR is the intellectual property of Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Welcome back to welcome to SIDEBAR. It's a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. Yes, we're in a different environment. The intro usually isn't done here, but thought we'd switch things up. This being the final episode before Christmas. I thought I'd make it special. There are no lights. I blame my producer for that. But I also didn't want to just do a regular angry rant. I felt in the spirit of Christmas, it should be something a little bit warmer and more open. Unfortunately, the only thing that comes to mind is I have this problem. Every Christmas, there's this lazy thing that Bahamian televangelists do. And I'm asking, I'm begging and I'm pleading that they don't do it this year. Every year, because somebody did it once, and everybody else is like, "That's a good message." Oh, don't have Xmas nowhere, because they're taking the Christ out of Christmas, and that's what the X is. And it feels like this ridiculous thing that has been regurgitated over and over again. Maybe some televangelist that was popular in the 80s said it once, and now it's stuck in the Bahamas. Similar to that weird thing about why Haiti is cursed, or what's the other one? The other thing that televangelists are always repeating, and it's like, that's not true. Anyway, with Xmas, specifically that's not true. So the Bible is written in Greek, Aramaic, and a bit of Hebrew. What happened is, the first letter for the word Christ in Greek is X, because the X makes the CH sound. And so there was a point in time where, shop owners on the glass would want to write Christmas and they didn't have enough space, but they knew that the X was the CH sound. And so it was never Xing Christ out of Christmas. It was just an abbreviation for Christ. And so I implore all of the persons who are searching for a Christmas message, don't use that one this time. And I feel like that was a calm enough message, right? Cam? That's a calm enough message. Cam doesn't care. It is important for us to remember the reason for the season. And that reason begins with C, capitalism. Because as much as you guys would like to pretend as though it is about Christ, how many of y'all actually go to church on Christmas? How much of y'all out here, let's feed the hungry and clothe the naked? You guys would be very disappointed if on Christmas Day you woke up and there were no presents under the tree. There was no gift card, no giant ham and turkey, and instead everybody's like, hey, let's go out and wash some Jones's feet. So let's not pretend as though that's not what it is. And then, as another little bit of an aside, this is still within the spirit of Christmas, Cam. It's still within, right? When your boss offers you alcohol on Christmas, like an abundance of it, that is within keeping of the tradition that was started by slave masters, where they'd allow the slaves to overindulge so that they'd feel guilty after Christmas. So they'd be like, you know, even though I don't get to choose what I want to do, and I get work like a dog, and this guy gets all the profit and I have no freedom, he really ain't that bad because he give me his old clothes and a bottle of wine. So I want to encourage you to remember that. I mean, as you go to your various corporate Christmas parties. This is in keeping with the spirit of Christmas, which, incidentally, none of this is what today's topic is about. But I did feel it was important to sprinkle a little bit of Christmas in before we get to the topic today. We're talking about music again. And we're going to have our special guest on, Bahamian Trae. This is Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. We'll be back after this.
It's the most luckiest time of the year. There'll be things that are spinning and cash prizes winning. Just Big Bang is here. It's the most luckiest time. Yes, the most luckiest time. Oh, the most luckiest time of the year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Island Luck.
Time of the year.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, the bag, I will be hard, beating for them. I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, man. Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along. Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island Luck Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Luck Lucky Taxi.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, a 103 to B podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and today I have with me Bahamian Trae.
Blast up, my bro. I'm really, really happy to be here.
I'm glad that you can make it.
Much respect for the invitation.
Now, for the people out there who, I mean, it'd be weird if they don't know you, because I feel like on some level, it's like one of those things where even if they don't know your name, there are people out there who know your sound. Vibes. Right? Mm-hmm. But for the people out there who have the music association, but they don't know the face and the name, tell us a bit about yourself.
Bahamian Trae. Bahamian Trae is an artist who, I mean, like, there's so much things that I'm realizing and learning about myself, because at one point I would say, because I was about to just say an artist, but it's more than just music now. There's parts of me that I'm realizing that, wow, I have a serious love for acting too. I have a love for just different parts of entertainment itself. And I see myself doing a lot of different things. And there's some stuff that I've marked off the list for right now, but I could just say Bahamian Trae is a very passionate, young entertainer who has this mind to just say, yo, like, we could really take our country and represent it to the world in its rawest, authentic form. And man, like, there would be people that would gravitate toward that.
Yeah, like, I remember you at Battle of the Bands. I think you were still at CW.
Yeah.
At that time.
Mm-hmm.
But you had already like amassed the following. So I want to talk about you going out into the other creative fields and stuff. But before that, remind the people so they can know where they might know you from.
Okay, so I mean, in 2015 was when I released my first song, Muggle Like Me, and when I released the Muggle, I'm saying release because at the time all I did was just put it on Facebook. But what happened was, I mean, friends at first in school, everybody there knew it. And then I was, how we just was talking off air about basketball. I was deep into basketball at a point in time in high school, and I was on the team. And when we went to one of the other schools, the students there knew me too. And it was definitely a shocker for me, because at that time I most definitely didn't have that much friends. Definitely had friends in that school either. So it was like, how these people recognizing me from, you know what I mean, just, you know, pulling up or whatever like that. And since then, I put the song, I mean, at that time I put the song out, and Charlie Brown and Reality, my former managers, saw the video of me performing the song at my school on Sports Day. And that was where the relationship at the time with Exile Media Group came together. And since when that started, we started to get like a lot of work done and get a lot of great things happening. I mean, I remember we did the Big Bang at that time, and I believe that was 2016. We did the Big Bang, and I remember at the time we did the feature with Ronnie Butler. We did so many different shows from, like, not just around the island, but Turks and Caicos. We did a show down there too. We opened up for a lot of amazing artists as well. Opened up for Richie Spice, Migos when they was there by the beach soccer field, Alkaline, Shensia, Barrington Levy, like, opened up for like some respected artists, and, you know, definitely graced some solid stages over the years.
What was it like? Because I mean, I can't imagine at that age, because you were still in high school.
Yeah.
Right? And so for that level of fame to be thrust upon you, what was that like? And like, how did you manage that?
If I be honest, the mentorship of Reality and Charlie Brown at the time definitely was a lot of the needed wisdom that I got at the time that was able to not only keep me humble, but to help me to understand how to navigate something like that. So, for example, school was always still a priority.
Right.
So I promise you, like, I remember, I'll never forget, I had a show in Freeport. I was opening up for Christopher Martin at a show in Freeport at LC's Cantina. And I had exams that Monday, bro. Like, the show was that Saturday, but exams was that Monday. And it was imperative for them to say, hey, bro, you got to make sure your exams and stuff like that straight before you even really confirm for this booking type thing. So, and of course, I still finished high school at Charles W. Sanders. I was high school VP. What was it again? Student council. I was student council VP. I was a prefect in grade 11 and 12, and definitely I'd say my grades were reasonable for someone who was in the extracurricular activity of like being a recording artist at the time. So I'd say, yeah, man, I did school. I did well with school, and then also I tried, like I said, sports and stuff like that too. So, like balancing it, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was easy, but I had the help of not just the mentorship from my former managers, but family as well. My parents definitely were very supportive in that pursuit, and just like my foundation. But I don't want you to see like the things that they bestowed over the years to me when it comes to being a good person. Like I feel like really steered me in the direction of like certain things were a given when it came to how to conduct yourself, but it was also like, okay, what is it still, like you say, like to go into a room and that person knows you before you know them? It was definitely something getting used to be like, okay, this is how, when it comes to being in a room, how I especially at that age, like manners and respect, it's like, I know people like they have this saying now recently, oh, manners and respect, yeah, I'm buying you a plane ticket and da-da-da and this and that and next, but I promise you, proverbially, it did. Like, it did for a lot of different people. Like, just having that, type of essence in you to say, like, getting that connection with people. And simple as connection sometimes. I mean, sometimes people would also say, oh, it's about who you know and this, that, and the next. But no, it's just simple about networking. Sometimes you might just come across a person who gravitates towards you, and that really and truly takes you into another room. And these are the type of things that my parents would have told me over the years. So having that, and also having Charlie Brown in reality to be able to tell me how to navigate that in the industry, was how I was able to actually balance and say, you know what, even social media, I remember we had a rule, like sometimes social media, of course, like even though it might have seemed like there was a lot of love at a certain point in time, there was some negative vibes here and there, and they made sure let us know, like, hey, don't do the scrolling thing. Like, don't try to go on social media, responding, doing the clapback and all of this and all of that. And they gave reasons why not to do stuff like that, and what it does for you as a person mentally to not feed into stuff like that. Like
to not engage with that.
And I promise you, many times I sit down and I say, man, like, salute to them for the things that they said. Because if I didn't know these certain things from then, oh my gosh, certain stuff would have happened. Like later down, I would have then lose my mind just off of, seeing the situation at hand. It would be a lot to handle. But the wisdom definitely was able to help me to navigate.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have the same issue as you, because I don't do schools. And then also, every time I walk in schools, they don't know who I am, which is fine. All right? But
what was the last school you went to? No, I wouldn't say that. I feel like if you go to the right... Now, let me not tell you as if you didn't go to the right school.
No, it's not that. It's that when I engage with students, it's usually in a particular environment. So, like, I'll get interns, or there'll be some sort of, not a fun day, but like kids going out to... They learn about some technology or whatever, and then they buck me and they'll be like, oh, blah, blah. And like, they don't know who I am necessarily, right? And so I don't have that issue. And I feel like there is a difference between how younger children interact with somebody that they know and they find to be famous. But then as Bahamians grow older, they'll recognize somebody, and like, you have 5% of Bahamians who say, oh my God, it's Rihanna. And the other 95% will be like, yeah, but I see Rihanna across the street. And they might take a picture, but they ain't gonna run over screaming.
Believe it or not, I think that 5% is becoming larger, where you do have people who are very introverted, where it's like, they'll say, mother freeze that Stephen. But I don't know how, just because, I mean, like you say, well, but Shin, they'll be like, or they'll just say, Cole, that's that dude from blah, 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 blah. And they'll have that same burst of energy like you would imagine they'll have, or you've seen people have about other people. But I think still we are becoming more like accepted into a culture of, hey, I support that person, and I don't know if I ain't ready to, approach them yet, because keep in mind, this is like a person who you ain't really know for
Right.
sure.
You know them, but you don't know them.
Yeah, so
but
a lot of people just be standoffish in that type of way. But I feel like
I guess
you'd be surprised.
I would. But yeah, I would. Because what usually happens is somebody will just have a conversation with me and I'll just be like, maybe this is somebody from high school. I just don't recognize their face. And then later on they'll be like, oh, I love you. It's like, I don't know you at all.
See that?
But to bring it back to music, when you were growing up, like what were you told about music, about the industry itself? Because I know that when I was a kid, and when I say kid, I mean like in my younger days, right? There was this idea that there was nothing when Bahamian won in 2000 the Grammy. It was like that was the first time that ever happened. Like we've never arrived at these heights before. But I mean, Bahamians have done great, amazing things in music, great, amazing things in acting. Like Sidney Poitier is not the only famous Bahamian actor, right? Calvin Lockhart at one point was more famous than Sidney, at least in certain communities, right?
I mean, Biggie.
Yeah, right, Biggie, right? Exactly. Biggie Smalls is named after one of his characters, right? So it's like you have that. When you were growing up, when you first started music, what was the temperature like? What would the people say?
I really appreciate that question because in the room, the temperature of the room was like, young people don't like Bahamian music. It was like, Bahamian ain't no money in music. And the consumers most people would have had this idea that in order to thrive, it can't be done in this atmosphere because there is no atmosphere. To a lot of people, we still have this argument that today, whether or not we have an industry when it comes to the music industry. And at that time, the temperature of the room was definitely like, okay, ain't no money in that. But the mentorship, going back to the mentorship, I don't want you to sleep. Like, they really, 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 like, matter of fact, let me tell you exactly how it went. At the time, when Muggle came out and, you know, like I telling you about when I was doing the stuff and going around those different schools, I had a lot going on in my life during that time. And it was so amazing because when Charlie Brown then was trying to link up with me so that we could actually, you know, get pen to paper about certain things, everything felt like it was actually stopping me from going there, bro. Like I talking about rides was like bailing on me and all these other type of different stuff. And it was so crazy because I messaged them and I tell them, I was like, man, I don't think I could do this, you know. And they said, no, but trust me, if you, you know, take in our wisdom, when you know, take these steps, you could be successful and you could do great things. And that was what the continuous like order of the day was whenever it came to Exile Media Group. So it's like hearing the noise in the market was like, okay, I hear that, but I feel like I could do something different. And you know, it was another big like epiphany for me when it came to the Bahamian music industry. I know you said just now about there's so many great things that have been done in not just the music space, but in the acting space. Like, no, like I really started to do a deep dive into the rabbit hole about the amazing things that would have happened in the Bahamas because of Bahamians, or like just the way how we were a part of the global conversation in almost every decade. And I was like, boy, how come we don't know about this information? Now, over the years, you would have had people who would have tried to give us these information, like big up to people like, God rest his soul, Charles Carter. Yeah. He would have had shows like, you know, These Are Bahamians, and just like really putting out like platform stuff where you could find these stuff. And then people like
wild that you would reference that, because I feel like you definitely would have still been in high school when the final episode of that was coming up.
Is what I'm saying, and because of the car that my old man drove, that was one of the stations for sure.
Okay, so
on that Island FM station, the reruns would definitely still play on that station. So big up to Charles Carter at the time where we would just be sitting there listening to a lot of his shows, and I promise you, like I would ask questions about this person, that person, and going down that rabbit hole helped me to understand that, boy, we doing this thing, like we have an industry. And what really was a thing that caused me to not worry about the noise in the market, because I promise you, like I say, the temperature of the room was very negative. But I was like, babe, we have the ability to do so much because there are people that have been doing so much and people who are currently doing a lot. And I think what has happened over the years with the reason why the noise in the market was the way that it was is because people say, oh, I ain't in that room, so the industry ain't driving. But the truth is, if Bahamian won a Grammy in 2000, that was a win for everybody.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody might not look at it that way, but I promise you, just the other day, we have an artist that go by Silky Siren. She was just nominated for a Grammy the other day for the work that she doing in the industry. She wrote for so many different amazing artists. And I mean, we'll still say, ain't nobody on that level in the industry, but we have so many people. Bass and Tana is another one. He was like close knit with XX and Dacion the other day, and he have a song with him, and these dudes doing producing and in Miami doing their thing. And you have so many different pockets of our industry where that's the case. But I feel like people are looking for things to be where, okay, everybody should be on the same page. Everybody ain't gonna ever be on the same page.
Yeah, and then there needs to be a bit more, or at least they might think it might need to be more organization so it can be a clearer thing. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive in deeper. You're listening to Sidebar 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. We'll be right back.
It's the most luckiest time of the year. There'll be things that are spinning and cash prizes winning. Just Big Bang is here. It's the most luckiest time. Yes, the most luckiest time. Oh, the most luckiest time of the year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Island Luck.
Time of the year.
Get ready to win lucky bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, but I will be hard beating right here. I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the lucky taxi. You walk in the taxi, you gotta do the lucky walk, brother. Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You leave with $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island Luck Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Luck Lucky Taxi.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and we have with us Bahamian Trae. We're talking about music and the arts in general.
Yeah.
All right. Earlier, you were saying how there are things that happen and no one really talks about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like it is the responsibility of, because a lot of times I think the people don't see the weight or the importance of things in the art, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are material things that exist all the time. A table is always in existence, right?
Right.
But the reason why a throne isn't considered a regular chair is because there's a mythos behind the throne. That's where royalty sits. That's where kings and queens sit, right? But somebody have to build a story about why a throne is important,
right,
for you to consider a throne important.
Mm-hmm.
It is the cultural parts that are the most important thing, because at the end of the day, you could have, when you say the Bahamas, what does that mean? Is the Bahamas the literal people inside it? Is the Bahamas...
Hey, but you was a poet, you know. That's the reason why you see me smiling, bro, because I'm so happy the way you touching on this topic right now.
Yeah, so like when you put all those different things together, right? The reason why we have these moments in history that feel lost or are lost,
Mm-hmm.
right? It falls on us, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. You have something like Burma Road. People know that the Burma Road riot is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was the reason. I didn't know the date. I didn't know who the person who started off was, a guy named Green from Andros. I didn't know how long it lasts. I didn't know the consequences of the action. I didn't know who was in charge at the time until I got to college. But I did know Burma Road riot existed. And the only reason I knew that...
Because of the song.
Because of the song that Ronnie Butler had. Right? And so without that song, that would be lost for the majority of Bahamians. There's no song about the general strike in 1958. And so the only people who's ever bring it up is taxi drivers and old men on talk shows. But ain't nobody else is bringing it up because nobody else remember it. That's where you come in. That's where we come in. Right? That was supposed to be a question.
Right.
So when you look at music today, particularly Bahamian music,
right,
I know that on some level it's a reflection of the lived experience of the artist. Do you feel that there is more of a responsibility that needs to be required from our artists? Do you think our artists know that? Or like what, or is it a matter of they are making these songs, but the songs we might just not necessarily have access to it or hear it?
If I be honest, like you say, it starts at actually knowing the information. So you have certain people, or like, for example, like you say, if we think about the majority, when it comes to like, and thankfully because of you, I was just thinking about it on the fact of like the Abaco revolt that you did the video on the other day and those different revolts that you started to speak about. If you didn't do that video, I would not have known about those revolts. And I actually went online and looked them up and I was like, wow. So it's like, we're getting to a place, also keep in mind, you know, being a young country, I feel like we're getting to a place where, especially in this digital era where information is so easily accessible, you have more people who are like yearning for more knowledge and information about Bahamian history, Bahamian culture. But some people innocently just don't know.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Like if you, like I say, if you have certain people, if you might have a conversation about them, about the music industry, they might not know about so many of the great things that like happen in the industry. For example, like one of the greatest percussionists in the world is a Bahamian dude that goes by the name of King Harrison Lee, and not just on the like, oh, opinion, greatest, no, this dude played percussion on one of the most sampled songs in hip hop and in music on the whole. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if we get to the part about what song that was, we'll be like, mother's like that. But I think the next thing that just culturally,
And that's just one of the percussionists, because then
you know what I mean? It's like Penis Taylor, like it's so much different people who did so many great things. But I think what's happening, and I'm seeing it happen, where people are yearning for the information and more people are learning about it and they're doing something about it. And I think that's why you see slowly but surely things are changing. So before, you didn't have much, like we was talking about off air, we didn't have much people who were interested in the idea of rake and scrape or interested in the idea of making Bahamian music. But now you have like loads of young people, they already got their bond. They in high school, just like how we was talking about the Battle of the Bands of Me, just like how it might have seemed like it was a small pocket at that time.
Yeah.
Now, almost any school you call the name, going down to Gerald Cash Primary School, they got a bond. Right. So it's like, wait, the more that these instances are like where we get to cultivate this type of idea and learn about our culture, we will get to now really stand in it, because like the outlets, I think, you know what I think it is? The reason why it's so easy for us to just keep on going and not really like look back at some of the things that we would have went through. I think it's, and I know this might be a crazy association, but dealing with like hurricanes.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is this. You have a lot of people who went through like a lot of devastation, like literally where like some people have houses that everything get wiped out. Like they had to start over, do things a whole different type of way. And like I still got people who, and not just on situations like Dorian, but people who from yesteryear still talk about this hurricane, that hurricane,
Andrew
and
and Luther,
Floyd, and you know what I mean? Like I sure some of these people who hear these names not able to think about that and be like, oh, I remember da 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 da. But the thing that I think we don't talk about when it comes to like going through stuff like that is the way how a lot of people flip. Some people don't even have pictures of their younger self. Right. You would be surprised to know how much the case is for like some people don't really, they lost it. So some like a lot of people are used to, and on this other side of the coin, things just not being archived properly. And I'm sure you could think about it right now. I'm not saying this is no shot to, you know, because I know we have the archives, but when it comes to like putting that information out there, of course, I know you can imagine like certain information, I personally feel like they hold back and try to maybe not try to like hush it down, but it's like when you tell the good, you got to tell the bad.
I'm not even thinking about like things that people might find embarrassing. There's just general information that persons do not have access to, and it's one of those weird things where not only is it bad to not know something, it's you're in a horrible position where you don't even have the words to ask for the thing. Like it's that George Orwell 1984, like how can we discuss freedom if you don't know the word freedom? Like it's a thing that you desire, but you've never heard the word freedom before. You never heard the word democracy before. But it's like I want a thing, and so it's almost like you building from scratch. So like there are moments and just like a blank. There's a gap in our timeline where Arawak's proprietary governors 1973 now. And between 1973 and now is 50 years. So like what we're missing we're missing a lot of different, and even before that, you know, the Bahamas history started 500 AD. If you count the Lucayans and the Taino people, right? So it's like there's a lot of history that we're missing. I want to bring it to, so earlier this year, you were in Junkanoo
in Paradise.
So it was a Junkanoo the musical, right? What was that experience like? Because, well, tell them who you played and then tell them a bit about it.
Okay, Junkanoo in Paradise. I mean, that was, I believe, and I'm sure I stand corrected, but the first Junkanoo musical, and it was held at the theater down there at Atlantis, and it was the first of its kind there at the theater as well. And I played the Obeah, like the Tony McKay Obeah that we know of. And basically, it was a story about the voices of the drum, and Tony McKay was one of the voices of the drum. And with, like you say, instances like having situations like this where we have a show that's happening that's like not just reminding us about our culture, but really giving us a different look on these stuff. Like it would have to come from, as you said, like if you don't know what freedom is, how can you even conceptualize something like that? There are people who do know what freedom is, and I feel like there are a lot of different people, just like how you mentioned off here. We have a duty to make sure, like, get these things done so that people know. Like we can't continuously sit back and think, okay, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Because I think now actually is the time where, like, the people who we reading about in our history books, like, we at that point in time now where we are the movers and the shakers and the ones who are being written in history to be the ones who tell people about, like you say, these different riots and stuff like that. Because, like, I remember having, like, I was talking to, big up to the builder, we was talking outside, and I was talking about, like, Loftus Roca. I remember I got a chance to speak to him about some things, and it's crazy when you, like, I mean, having an opportunity to speak to someone like that and maybe thinking about the questions or the information. I mean, everybody, I feel, will one day desire to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And when they do have that moment, and some people might have it at different moments in time, when they do try to figure that out, they will go down a rabbit hole. And I feel like once they do start to go down that rabbit hole, they will find these instances of getting to understand their Bahamian self more and more and more. Because even though it could be more accessible, I don't think all of the information about it is inaccessible, especially since we still have people who actually lived it still around. Like, you know, God rest the dead, like, Loftus Roca isn't here anymore, so you can't, or Charles Carter them, so you can't,
or Peter
like,
Taylor,
like you,
or Tony,
like you can't, like the things that they saw,
today.
like it's so many names, and you could imagine if you sit down and have a conversation with them and ask them about certain things with the stuff that they would tell you about the industry. Like I got a chance to speak to Penis Taylor, and the things that he would have talked about in the industry and the way how stuff was operated, and when the way how they promoted culture, and the way how the government was also in, like, up to Stafford Sands at the time when it came to the tourism model. The musicians were a part of that tourism model.
Yeah.
In its nucleus. So it's like,
it feels like we move a bit backwards at times with that.
What you mean when you say we move backwards?
No, I mean, because you hear about the things like the musicians union and stuff, and then but unions in general, I feel like they were more powerful before, in the before times.
Yeah, they were definitely more powerful, because boy, to just even touch on that music union, like I wouldn't even say many, every artist in this music industry would tell you that anything that you might want to ask about the music industry, to say, oh well, why this, why that. It's one of the main reasons why, right there, my bro. Like, that's one of the very main reasons why. Because, like I mean, I mentioned earlier, everybody can't be on the same page, but I feel like there are certain stuff where, like, we just have to be real. Like, also, don't be afraid to say, like, yo, like, over the years, the music union has done people dirty. Ronnie Butler has took them to court. Like, over the years, you've had certain, I mean, and, like, now, certain people gone, and you can't even do nothing about certain things no more, because I mean, Ronnie Butler, like, these are people we wondering, oh well, how come this and that financial situation, like, the music union is supposed to make sure that these artists have pensions. These artists would have worked in our country and worked through different mediums over the years, 4 years. And money is still being collected by the music union, by the way. Any type of foreign type of situation that go on yet, after any promoter, they know who they got to go to get the wife sign off whenever they have a foreign entity coming to perform. Awesome. And they know the laws too. Right. So we have laws, we have these certain things, but the rabbit holes, my bro, I promise you the rabbit holes are so serious.
The key is that you got to make a song about it, because otherwise nobody else know about it. If you make a song about it, then the people will know.
Yeah, man, the songs and the videos and the books and the poems, I definitely give that to all creatives for sure. Like, it is our duty to make sure that we tell the story, because social commentary, like, we are the ones who are the ones who's like ushering that story. We are the authors of that story. We live in it. So yeah, like, we got to make them videos. We got to write those books. We got to even just draw those cartoons. Like, we have to tell the story some way, because boy, with AI, I mean, flip.
Don't remember that. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. You're listening and watching Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. We'll be right back.
The most luckiest time of the year. There'll be things that are spinning and cash prizes winning. Just Big Bang is here. It's the most luckiest time. Yes, the most luckiest time. Oh, the most luckiest time of the year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Island Luck.
Get ready to win lucky bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, I will be hard with what here. I'm looking for my voice contestant to ride in the lucky taxi. To walk in the taxi, you got to do the lucky walk, brother. Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You leave with $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island Luck Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Luck Lucky Taxi.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, The possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and this is the Island segment. Rum key, top food. I want to say rum, but that's only out of laziness. I'm sure that it's not true. You know what? Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to say rum. Listen, if you know, just please tell us if you know what Rum Key is known for. Top site to visit. According to one of the Ministry of Tourism's websites, if you can get there, the Hartford Cave has wall art drawn by the Lucayans. So, I mean, that actually sounds very interesting. This is Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. And going to give you the final 2 minutes. Trae, if you could fix something, like what inside the Bahamian music industry, what would it be?
I would fix the music union. Like I would dismantle the whole thing and just revamp the whole vibe. A reason why, for example, if I was to ask you right now, who's the president of the music union?
I don't know. I didn't know they were still around.
But who's the president of the teachers union? You know that answer, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it shouldn't be that way, and we have laws and all these different things that already do protect us, and there are more things because of the way our technology is rising that we should be able to be a part of when it comes to these things. Because hey, like I was mentioning last, AI is now a thing, and the music union don't even have a website. So it's like judge trying to have laws to protect you when it comes to these certain copyright issues or whatever. And we should be having certain conversations. We should be, it shouldn't just be something that seems quiet. Everything when it relates to the music industry, I feel like just like how anything else is in the paper, in the news, we need to make sure that this is not just a hush-hush conversation anymore. We need to make sure, talk about the things that are wrong, talk about the things that are right. And the medium for us to do that in the music industry, music and entertainers union, we have that, and that should be the entity that protects us as music and entertainers, because that's the interesting thing about the music union. It's not just musicians, it's music and entertainers. So anybody who is in entertainment should be trying to figure out what's going on with the union, and we need to fix that.
Well, thank you so much. Now you're gonna make me go double check some stuff.
Yes, boy.
Thank you for coming through, bro. We continue our conversation and at some point in the new year.
I'd love to, most definitely. Thank you so much for the invite, man.
Thank you. You've been listening to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. See you next week.